tonight. I always like you guys to have a goal in mind, of what we're trying to accomplish on the call, because I am an avid note taker. I love to take notes, and I kind of like to know where the ship is headed. So here's what I'm going to go over tonight. Number one, building a strong foundation that's going to help you attract your dream team. Number two, sealing the deal, actually getting people excited to join you. Number three, getting coaches started right and on the road to success. My end goal tonight is to help you build confidence in this business and yourself so that you can effectively share the opportunity, attract the right coaches, and build a strong team. So I have some things I want you guys to keep in mind as we go through this. The importance of leading by example. You have to lead by example if you expect your team to do anything that you're doing. You have to get clear about your vision and your goals. You have to identify who it is that you want in your business and where you're leading this ship so that your approach and your message on your Facebook, your social media are very consistent. You have to get specific about what type of customer you want to attract. You have to get yourself out there through exposures, and we're going to talk about the different ways to do that. And I think something that's really important to talk about too is making the transition from asking people, will you join me, to having them apply to join you. It's a mindset shift where you go from, essentially having that, oh my gosh, please join me, to, you know what, let me see if our goals align and if this is the right fit for you. And making that simple shift in my business has been huge for not only attracting the right people, but making sure that they have the right expectation to get started. And then also for you to add value to the life of others. So that's kind of where we're headed tonight, so you guys have an idea. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, so what are the 4 ingredients in creating a successful business? These are the 4 cornerstones, I believe, of being a successful Beachbody coach. Number 1, you have to have a strong belief in the product, in the business, and yourself. I know that's like a huge loaded number 1 topic, so I'm going to be diving into that in a little bit. Number 2, you have to have a strong reason why you want to build this business. You have to have that driving force that's going to keep you going. Number 3, you have to make a strong commitment. Everyone always wants to know, how can I be successful in this business? And I got to tell you guys, the fact of the matter is, your success starts with the decision. That decision for you to be successful. Your success is directly related to the degree in which you're willing to work to find others who want the same success in life as you. I know that's a lot of successes, but just keep this in mind. If you are not committed to your business, if you're not committed to your workouts, how are those superstars ever going to sign up with you? If you're working your business willy-nilly, you're sometimes doing it, sometimes you're not, why would someone who's a potential power player sign up with you versus signing up with a top coach? So you really have to get clear about who you are, where you're going, because high-caliber people, high-caliber coaches aren't going to sign up with a wandering ship. They want to see your vision and see your guidance. And then my last point is you have to remain coachable throughout your entire coach journey. Do you guys ever notice how top coaches, they always show up at trainings, they always show up at Super Saturdays, they still invest in personal development? Never stop learning. Never stop, going to personal development seminars and working on your personal growth. And never wait around for training. Don't wait for your coach to hand you training on a silver platter. You're 100% responsible for your success or for your failure. So one thing I want you guys to keep in mind throughout not only this call, but your journey as a coach is you have to become a master over your education and seek out learning, seek out education, watch what other people are doing, always be willing to learn from others. Maybe there's someone who doesn't work the business the same exact way that you do. For example, Jay is more of a face-to-face person than I am, but I always learn from him, the way that he words things, the way that he starts up conversations, and I just tailor it to make it fit for my business. The second you think that you have this business figured out, the second that you think you have it all down pat, that's when your business is going to stop eroding. And everything that you guys do, good or bad, is going to duplicate with your team. So if you stop learning, they're going to stop learning. It doesn't matter that, they might be in month 1 as a coach and you're in year 3. If they see you stop doing personal development, they're going to stop doing it. And that's one thing I've admired about Lindsay Matway, and I just told her this recently. She never stops growing, and that really not only affects me and my motivation in the business, but our entire team as well. Okay, cool. So let's dive right into like number one. I want to talk about building a belief in the products in the business. Most of you guys have a strong belief in the product because you probably started because you fell in love with the product. You did Shakeology, you did a workout, you lost weight. So for me, I fell in love with P90X. I fell in love with Shakeology because I was clueless at the gym. I had no idea what to do there. So P90X saved me from the embarrassment of showing up at the gym and not knowing what was going on. I love Shakeology because I have a major sweet tooth. So with Shakeology, I know that I'm going to keep my hand out of the cookie jar. So most of you guys, it's not a problem to share the product and you're in love with the product. But when it comes to the business, you start to get sweaty palms and start freaking out a little bit. What I want you to do is think about all of the amazing things that have resulted from Beachbody being in your life. Better health, better body, financial gains, going on the Success Club trip. Maybe you saved up a couple $100 to go on like a mini weekend vacation. Being a coach is more than just the fitness. There are so many things that come along with it. And for me, I always think of it as a way to own your life, to really create that freedom so that you don't have to have an alarm clock. You don't have to go to work every day. Maybe you're not to that point yet where you built up the business and you have that income where you could say bye to your boss and say bye to your alarm clock. And that, if that's the case, and I know it is for a lot of you, I want you to start thinking about all of the other amazing things it's done for you. Whether that's improving your mood, doing something that's fulfilling to you, that you love, whether it's, bringing you closer to more inspiring people, incredible friendships, the fact that you can work from home, and do something with your kids on the couch with you. Some other things that I love about the business that don't really relate to the financial gains are, I met my significant other through Beachbody, and I always thought, it's like the Beachbody love story. So when I'm sharing the business, that's something that, it's affected me in a positive way from doing the business and going to Summit. That's where we met. So when you're sharing these aspects of the business, this is where you're really planting those seeds of hope and helping people dream a little bit bigger. It's not just about, the financial things that you can share. You can share about people losing weight on your team. You could share about people, making $50. Maybe someone was able to make a car payment. Maybe they're able to take their kids to Disney or cover part of their mortgage. I learned there was a coach on my team, or is a coach on my team, who Beachbody saved them from going into foreclosure on their house. And when she told the story, I was so teary-eyed because, if you think about what an incredible thing that is, you take someone's situation where they're in dire straits and they're not able to afford their home and it completely turns it around for them. That's an amazing story. You don't have to experience that story for yourself, or maybe, that's not what you're going through, but what an incredible thing to share with other people. All of those things, all of those successes build the belief in the business. And I don't know about you guys, but my heart wells up. I start thinking about all these incredible things that it's brought to me and that I can share with other people. And that is what fuels my passion. That is what gets me over that hump of being fearful about sharing it to saying, oh my gosh, I have to share this with everybody because this is simply amazing. I know that there are people in my life who are struggling financially. I know there are people who are passionate about helping other people, but maybe they're stuck in a dead-end job that's not fulfilling. Maybe they want to spend more time with their family, and we have the power to help them achieve that. It's just simply a matter of sharing it with them. So what I want you guys to do is list some of the things that you love about Beachbody as a company and that you love about the business. I love that there's a low startup cost because at the time that I signed up, I was like dead broke. So I was like, gosh, even I could afford this. I love that you don't have to have a college degree to do this. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a college dropout and I was stuck in a dead-end job. And I remember saying, gosh, if I could just make it through the next 40 or 50 years till retirement, I'll be all right. But I couldn't dream big. I couldn't think of, going on vacation. My first big vacation was the Success Club trip to Atlantis. I love that you can work part-time. I love that you can work from home. I love being my own boss. And I think, I say this all the time, but my huge motivation was having freedom in my life with my schedule. I always would get freaked out to ask for vacation time off by my boss. I don't know if you guys have ever gone through that, but I would literally like sweat and start shaking because I'd get so nervous to ask for time off. Whereas now, we just got back from a 2-week trip to Florida, and we didn't have to be anywhere. We could just, work wherever there's Wi-Fi. So I want you guys to list those things that you love about Beachbody and start first realizing how amazing it is, and second, start sharing that. Okay, number 2, my mouse isn't working, so sorry, okay, there we go. Okay, so number 2, building a strong belief in yourself. I think that this is so important, your confidence in your mindset. And, I said a little bit ago, you have to make the decision to be successful and realize that you guys can do this. One major element to success is in how you carry yourself. And believe it or not, people are very intuitive. They pick up on your vibe, whether you're in person or online. They just get it. Your words and your actions, they're either going to make someone feel more confident about the business and more confident about joining you, or they're going to plant those seeds of doubt. And I always share this example. I used to work at American Eagle, and we'd have to sell credit cards or get people to sign up for credit cards. If I was nervous and I was asking someone to sign up for a credit card, they're not going to give me their social security number. But if I came at them, with confidence and said, oh my gosh, listen, I have the best way for you to save $30 today. Check this out. Sign up for this credit card. It's amazing. You're going to get coupons. Then people would be more likely to sign up. Not that I had a 100% success rate or anything, but you get my point. When you come at them with that posture of confidence, they're going to buy into their belief of you instead of, you shaking and saying, would you like to sign up for a credit card? Think of the business the same way. If you're not there yet, if you don't have that strong belief in yourself that you can do this, don't freak out. You can get there, but you're going to have to invest in personal growth. That means personal development. And I always say this, you guys, you are your greatest asset in your business. So you need to invest the most money and time in yourself. Before you talk to prospects, before you get on and do your blog, you need to do your personal development, especially if you're feeling like you don't have that strong belief in yourself and that you can do it. But you can, trust me. If I can do it, I'm the most shy, introverted person on the planet, and here I am sharing on a call with you guys. The cool thing about personal growth and personal development is your major growth doesn't come from these big breakthroughs. It doesn't come from, going away on this weekend seminar and, coming up with all these big ideas. For me, it's all about those simple realizations. And sometimes it's the things that you know that you just need to hear right now that propel you to success. Change comes from those tiny little shifts that you activate in yourself. And I love from Brendan Burchard, he always says, you're not going to find something new, you're going to decide something new. So today I want you guys to decide something new. I want you to think, if you were to put just a little bit more energy into your personal development and focus on guiding your day, guiding your life, guiding your business, guiding yourself, how much more successful would you be? I would bet a lot more. It's in your power to decide how you're going to run your day. If you wake up and you have to, have those positive affirmations right on your mirror so it's something that you remember and that you repeat to yourself until you believe it, then that's something you need to do. You need to see that greatness in yourself and act on it for other people to get on board your train. Okay, cool. And, I think another cool way to think of this too, personal development and growth is so abstract. So, you might not see the results. It's nothing physical you can see. But I love comparing it to your fitness journey. You might not be at your goal weight, but you're working on it. You might, not be at your goal state of mind, but that's something that you can work on and, grow over time. You're not just going to wake up one day and be like this, amazing leader. It's something that you do through growth, through practice, and through, working at it time and time again. Can everyone hear me? I see some, things that say no. Okay, cool. And I'm sorry, I just keep thinking of things that I want to mention to you guys. And I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but you have to let your desire for being successful be greater than your fears. Desire greater than fears. Because if it's not, then you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to get on this, like, train, this vicious cycle where you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. And then, what's that called? I don't know. I can't think. I'll come up with it later, but not reaffirming belief. But basically, if you're not doing it, then you're like, oh, well, see, I couldn't do it. You want to get out of that mindset. Yeah, learned helplessness is a great way to say it. And I wrote down this quote on my journal: challenges are your journey, goals are your destination. So own your challenges and develop a hunger for challenge and guide yourself to your dream. So, don't think of obstacles or challenges as something horrible. Think of them as something that you need to overcome so that you can get to that next level in your business. The next thing I want to talk about is developing your why. This is absolutely important. We hear this all the time in Beachbody. They constantly say, develop your why. You have to have a strong why. I want you guys to really understand what that means. Your why, your reason why you are building your business, is your driving force. You have to take the time to craft this and put a compelling vision for your future together. And what I mean by that is, if you think 3 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, what is so amazing in your future that you're willing to work for it, that you're willing to give up short-term sacrifices for that long-term success? Is that giving up TV? Is that giving up baseball? Is that giving up a hobby that you have so that you can work your business to get you to that long-term success? This is something you guys need to put down on paper. And, this is something that I am so passionate about because I had a strong why. I had financial burden. I had where I was paying my mortgage on the 15th every month instead of the 1st. I'd wait till that grace period was up before I paid it because I didn't have the money to pay it. So I wanted to stop living like that. I wanted to stop living paycheck to paycheck. That reward of being able to have financial stability was so much greater than the risk of rejection. It was so much greater than wanting to watch my favorite TV show. It was so much greater than wanting to go out to dinner with my friends. This is something that has to be so powerful and so emotionally connected to you that you're willing to give up those things so that you can, achieve your goals. And there's a story from The Compound Effect where he talks about your why power. If there were two buildings across from each other and we put a wooden plank between the two buildings and there was a fire in the building across the way, would you walk over the plank and go to the building where there was a fire? And you would say, no, I'm not going to go walk across this plank where I could fall to my death into a fiery building. But if your child was on that other side in that fiery building, you wouldn't even think twice about walking across that plank and going into that burning building to save your child. That is your why power. You guys need to put that in terms of your life right now and think about, what is so powerful to you that you're willing to risk rejection, that you're willing to put yourself out there, that you're willing to share your transformation pictures on Facebook, even though it's incredibly embarrassing, so that you can reach that end goal. Why do you need a strong why? And why do you need to get clear about your story? Your why gives you purpose. And I think I, kind of encapsulated this in that last slide, but it should emotionally move you. And everyone always says it should make you cry. Your why should move you so much that you just cannot wait to leap out of bed in the morning and get to your computer to do your work. It should keep you so enthusiastic about this business during the times that someone buys T25 off of Amazon. We all have those ups and downs as entrepreneurs and as coaches, but when you're clear about your why, you're going to be driven past those obstacles. You're going to be driven by your dream instead of being, let down by your disappointments and let down by failures. Also, when you connect your story and your why and you put it out there, this is what's going to allow people to connect with you on a deeper level. And they always say facts tell, stories sell. When someone feels so emotionally attached to you and your story and they can relate to you, that's a lot more compelling of a reason for them to purchase from you or to become a coach than for you just to say, oh, I lost some weight. So I wanted to share this because I struggled so much with coming up with my story. When I started, I lost 20 pounds with P90X. I felt like I was a normal girl. I didn't have this crazy transformation. I had like a normal job. I had a normal life. So in my mind, I was like, well, I really don't have a story. And I would think like, gosh, nothing. I didn't have a baby. I didn't have, where I lost the baby weight or, overcome huge financial distress. Like, Lindsay Matway shares her story about being $400,000 in debt. The only debt I had was my mortgage and my car. I mean, I was living paycheck to paycheck, mind you, but I didn't have this crazy debt. So I was like, gosh, I really don't have a story. I'm not a military wife. I'm not even married. So what I had to do was really dig deeper and get more specific about who I am and how I feel. If you look at that first top example, that's not very compelling. That doesn't give anyone a reason to reach out to me, to connect with me, because there's nothing there. There's nothing for them to connect you with. But if you dig a little bit deeper and think about, how emotionally you're feeling or the struggles that you're going through, you can come up with some things, I promise you. If I could come up with some things, you could. So I started celebrating the fact that I lost 20 pounds, and I started talking about being skinny fat. A lot of people when I started said, I don't even know why you're working out. You don't even need to lose any weight. And then I would always say, well, you haven't seen me in a bikini, so don't talk. But, it's frustrating when you go through that and people are combating you on working out. So that became part of my story. I'm the girl that people are questioning why I'm doing the workouts. I was in a toxic relationship, unhealthy relationship with my boyfriend at the time. I was in a stressful job. I was underpaid. I was overworked. I missed every family holiday for about 5 years. I slept through Thanksgiving and Christmas because I was so tired from working. I didn't make very much money. I was living paycheck to paycheck. Something that I never have talked about because I've kind of just like buried it is growing up in an abusive household. I thought, gosh, I don't want to share that with anybody. But the more you share things like that, the more that you put yourself out there and be vulnerable, the more it gives people an opportunity to connect with you. So I took all those things that, happened in my past, and then I thought about, where do I want to go with this? What is my mission? Where do I want to take my life from here? So for me, it was important to set myself up for success in the future. I wanted to be able to provide for my future family, even though at that point I wanted to break up with my boyfriend and I didn't have dogs or anything. I think I had a cat. I think I had Sydney at the time. But I wanted to set myself up for that future family. I knew that I was meant for something greater, and I knew that I was very passionate about empowering women, especially coming from, an abusive household growing up and seeing my mom not able to get out of that situation. It's always been important for me to not only become independent, but to help other women build a business. When I crafted my story and I started, digging deep and sharing these things, that's when I was able to make that deeper connection with people. That's the reason why people will message me from my blog and say, my gosh, I feel like you're talking directly to me. And it's so weird, that other people have these same experiences. Some people connect with me about skinny fat. Some people connect with me about the retail job. Some people connect with me about stressing out about money and bills. There are different things that people are going to connect with you on, but the more specific you can be, the better. So I'm going to give you guys a formula for at least getting started with your story, but I wanted to share this with you to at least give you a little hope. If you don't feel like you have a story, there is hope for you to craft it. Okay, so here is the magic formula. When you craft your story, you want it to be something short and sweet that at least encompasses what you've been through or what you're doing. So the first thing you're going to do is share your background. The second thing you're going to do is share what you didn't like about your background. Then, how Beachbody came to the rescue. And last, your results or how you feel about the future. Don't worry, I'm going to change the slide, but I put it on the next slide as well. Okay, so here is my story. If someone asked me my story in 5 seconds, this is what I came up with. I was a stressed out retail manager working crazy hours, but barely making ends meet. I was always eating on the go, so I gained about 20 pounds, and I couldn't lose it despite going to the gym every day. I started this workout program from Beachbody, P90X, and I not only lost all of the weight, but I learned I could become a coach and supplement my income by sharing my results and helping other women. Now, I'm a full-time coach, 6-figure income earner. And I don't stress out about money. The best part is I get to travel, sleep in, and spend time with my family. Short, sweet, and it leaves them wanting more. The point is to breadcrumb it so that people are still asking more questions. Now, maybe you aren't a full-time coach yet. Maybe you aren't at your goal. You can share how excited you are about the future. You can say, now that I'm a coach, I can't wait to retire my husband so that we can spend more time together. Or I can't wait to pay off my mortgage. Or whatever that looks like for you. I just want to encourage you guys to, craft at least your story, and then you can start filling in the blanks and filling in, a little bit more detail about yourself, so that you can share that on social media and your blog. I think Lindsay stated a really great job of breadcrumbing her story about, her battle with alcoholism. She didn't throw it all out there in one thing for people to get freaked out. She kind of breadcrumbed it. So you guys can go check out her page. And don't worry, I will post these slides for you. I'm such a visual person, so I make 1,000 slides. So I know that, it's very helpful to at least see it written out. So I will post it. Okay. Now let's talk about developing your brand. Now you have your story, you have your why. Let's talk about how you're going to find coaches that you are so passionate about helping, who just get it, who get you. Here's what you need to do. And I posted this on my blog, and I posted this on my Facebook page, the entire lesson, so I can share that with you guys. But here's a quick rundown. Number 1, create a list of characteristics of the person you like helping. Are they single? Are they married? What is their personality type like? What do they like to do? Hobbies, interests. You could even say, where do they live if you want to get crazy. Number 2, you want to create a visual. So I was thinking, when I created my visual, who is this girl that I really want to help? Who's this person that, I just really connect with? So I actually Googled blonde beach wave hair. And I came up with Ashley Benson. She's from Gossip Girl, for you guys that don't know. But she's so cute, and here she's like dressed up outside at this concert, but you could tell that, it's like she's not an outdoorsy kind of girl. She just likes looking cute. So I came up with this entire identity. Instead of calling her Ashley, I called her Caitlin. And I came up with, she's 27 years old. She's newly married, but they don't have kids. She's got pets. She's got 2 dogs and a cat, just like me. She's fun-loving and carefree, but shy at first. She'll stress out about random things. She researches things like crazy and then ends up impulse buying. She's worried that Shakeology is a scam. She's worried that her husband and friends will tease her for doing an infomercial workout. So why am I bringing this up? Why am I sharing this with you? When you can connect, when you can have this idea in your head of who you're talking to, when you can, have this visual that you look at before you make a blog post, this is going to help you connect more with your ideal customer, who will then hopefully go on to become your coach. Why do you want to do that? Number 1, it makes working with them a lot easier. You guys are on the same page, you get each other, and then you can create content. By the time you do this, you'll have loads and loads of ideas for creating blog posts, video, YouTube videos, Facebook posts that you feel will add value to this person's life. So one thing that, I did was I thought, gosh, my ideal customer thinks Shakeology is a scam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a bunch of blog posts that address that fear head on. So my person, who's out there, whoever she is, Caitlin over in the other side of the country, is Googling, is Shakeology a scam? My blog's going to come up. She's going to see my picture. She's going to see my other post, hopefully go on to add me on Facebook. And then I'm going to connect with that girl. And it's going to be like, she's going to say to me, gosh, I feel like you've known me your whole life. That's what you want to do. You want to really just hone in and focus on that one target market, that one target customer, and then create content that appeals to them and makes them feel like you're speaking directly to them. It's all about building the connection, guys. Does that make sense to everybody? So here's what I want you to do. When you create your visual, I want you to put it somewhere that you see it every day, and then I want you to look at it before you do anything and think about, what kind of value can I add to this person's life? What can I give, what advice, help, or guidance can I provide for this person? And here's a really great point to bring up for those of you who have never done this before. Let's say that you're really great at something like meal planning. So for you, it's basically second nature. You think, gosh, it's not a big deal. Everybody knows how to do this. Those things that are second nature to you, that are so obvious, are the exact things you need to be writing about. If you're really great at planning out your week and planning out when to do your workouts, you need to blog about that. If you're really great at taking unhealthy meals and making a healthy alternative, you need to blog about that. And the key really in this space is to try again. It's all about being consistent over time, and know that it's a process that's going to take you consistency. I love that quote, if you want to hit the bullseye, throw more darts. If you want to connect with that ideal customer, it's not one blog post. It's not one YouTube video. It's not one Facebook post. It's you connecting with it and doing it over time. Now let's take this one step further. How do you find that ideal coach? So it's very important to remember that you have to have that ideal customer avatar or that person in your mind, to at least, you're kind of funneling people in. And I know that everyone always says, gosh, Katie, I'd love to be able to help everybody. I know you would. That's why you're a coach. Bless your heart, you guys are so giving and so caring that you want to help everybody. But at the end of the day, am I really going to be a benefit to a 50-year-old man who wants to gain muscle? No, I have no idea what to tell him. Are you kidding me? Am I going to be able to help a girl in her 20s who needs to lose 10 to 15 pounds and who likes to have fun but doesn't like to get crazy? Heck yeah, that's my person. I know exactly what to tell them. So you're funneling, all the people down to the people that you relate to, and now we're going to take it one step further and say, out of those people that relate to me, who am I looking for in a coach? So here's what I want you guys to do. List, and I'm serious, get your pen and paper out, and list the 10 characteristics that make up your ideal coach. What are the things that you're looking for in that person that you would just be like, oh my gosh, they fell from heaven, they're exactly like me, I love everything about them, they just get it. So here are my 10. I actually made 12 because I couldn't stop. So here are my 12. I want someone who's confident, who's a visionary. I want someone who has that entrepreneur mindset. They have to be ambitious, focused, motivated. They must be coachable. I told you guys that earlier. I love people who are creative, assertive, but humble. They have to have a sense of humor, and I love people who have that magnetic personality that you just want to be around them. Those are the type of people I want on my team. And I really wish that I would have done a collage of the people who joined my team in the month of May, because I swear they are exactly this. But here's the caveat with doing this exercise. Once you list these 10 characteristics and you start thinking, gosh, I'd love to have this person on my team, would that person want you as their upline? If you want to attract this in your business, then you need to get there. You need to go down that list and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 of those qualities. And if you are not, living up to each of those sections, that's where you need to focus your personal development on. If you want, someone who's confident, then you need to get there. You need to work on your confidence level. I want you guys to, really take that seriously and give yourself a good hard look, because this is going to help you grow. This is not something where I want you to say, oh gosh, I'm only a 2 in confidence, I suck. I want you to use that and say, right now I'm a 2, I'm going to work on it, I'm going to read some personal development, I'm going to talk to my friends and find ways to ease myself into more confident roles, and you're going to slowly build and build and build. But someone who's an 8 caliber confident is not going to want to sign up with someone who is afraid to talk to people. They're going to say, gosh, what can I learn from this person? So I want you guys to think about the kind of team culture you want to create and get there yourself, number 1. And number 2, cast that vision for your team. Create a vision that's going to inspire action from your coaches. And, I always think about Lindsay, we're coming from someone who had the most clear vision of all. She started just as herself, one person, and here we are, the Bombshell Dynasty is over, I'm sure it's over 17,000 people by now, but it all started because she had a very clear vision of where she wanted to take this team. And, if you look around and you guys go to Summit, you're going to see like attracts like. That's the incredible thing. Okay, so you have your ideal customer, you're thinking about who you want on your team. At the end of the day, that's great, but it doesn't mean anything unless you're sharing the business. If you're not sharing, exposing, inviting, whatever you want to call it, your business is dying, essentially. Because you're going to have fallout, you're going to have attrition where people, quit or whatever happens, someone gets married and they fall off the wagon. You can't just build to a certain point and then stop. And I think there's this, stigma about getting to diamond, and then people think, oh, well, I'm done, I got to diamond. That is not the case at all. If you want to stay diamond, if you want to grow from diamond, or if you want to get to diamond, then you need to keep sharing, keep inviting, keep exposing. So here are some ideas on how to share your business, and I recommend picking two. Brittany Leggett talked about having a season where you learn, maybe you have Facebook and then pick one other thing. So you have a season of learning YouTube, or you have a season of learning your blog. But here's what I do. Here are all the ideas you guys can read, but here's what I do. I have my Facebook and I have my blog. My goal is to create content that my ideal customer is going to search for. They're going to find my blog, and then I want to funnel them over to my Facebook so that they can see I'm a real person, they can kind of keep up with my life and see what I'm up to, they can connect with me, and then they're going to message me and hopefully build that relationship. That's how I build my business. You can do it in so many different ways, but here are a couple things that everyone should be doing. Challenge groups and building a contact list. So here are the different ways that you can find people through social media, whatever that looks like for you, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, YouTube. The cool thing about YouTube is you can post coach training videos, fitness successes, transformations, team successes. You can post about, a video from going to summit, anything that your ideal customer is going to see, and they're going to want to stay on your channel and look around. You can find people from your blog. You can talk to current customers. Maybe you have people that are great Shakeology customers and they've been on Shakeology for a while. That might be a great opportunity to talk to them and, see what they love about the product and hopefully build a relationship with them and build their belief in the business. People on your contact list. There are so many people that you know in your life that you probably, haven't talked to about this. A quick story for you guys. I used to live in Texas a long, long time ago. I was in middle school there, and I recently being a year ago, found one of my middle school schoolmates on Facebook, and he was is a chiropractor, and I would always think of him, to say like, oh, I wonder how he's doing, but I never thought to ask him about the business, and when I did, he was so receptive. There are people in your life like that, where you're like, you might not have contact with them on a day-to-day, they might be someone you knew years ago, but you can reach out to them. You can reach out to them and see what they're up to and see if this is a good fit for them. You want to grow your influential territory, and by that I mean get involved in the community. Just today, I'm such a hermit. I love to stay at home, but I went to the church Memorial Day cookout and I met a lot of amazing people, and that was one of those moments where I was like, gosh, I'm so glad that Jake forced me to go. So don't isolate yourself, stop hiding, and start putting yourself out there, and get out and meet people. I always think of that movie Yes Man, where he just starts saying yes to things. So you guys need to develop that attitude where you start saying yes to the things that you get invited to. You never know who you might meet. And actually, one time when I did say yes to go to a party, I met a girl, and I helped her lose 30 pounds with P90X. And I always think about that, who is that missed opportunity? Who is that person who is dying for a solution, that needs my help, that maybe I'm being selfish by staying home? At least that's how I think of it. Okay, the 3 most common ways that I post to find new coaches. I'm going to share some example posts with you guys, but I wanted to throw this out there, and Lindsay and Brittany's coaches know this answer because I shared it at their retreat. But what is the number 1 reason someone joins a network marketing business? And what is the number 1 reason they don't? Okay, the number 1 reason someone joins network marketing is because somebody asked them. And some of you might not have that experience where somebody asked you, but I'm willing to bet most of you have been asked, have you ever considered being a coach? Have you ever considered doing what I do? So don't be afraid to put it out there, because guess what? We have at least 16,000 people on our team who have said yes, and 140,000 coaches in the company who have said yes. Don't worry about the people saying no. Just focus on putting yourself out there. That's what you can control. Okay, so the 3 ways that I share, I post about my challenge groups. I post about lifestyle, so sharing my success, sharing my day-to-day, sharing what I do, and how Beachbody has afforded me that lifestyle. And then I also post about coach mentoring, opening up my next Coach Basics group or coach training group. So there are 3 main ways I feel that people sign up with me. Maybe there's someone who had great results in a challenge or great results with a product. Number 2, there's someone who is attracted to my type of lifestyle, who wants to stay at home all day with their dogs or with their kids. And then number 3, someone who really is attracted to the business, who sees that, who has that entrepreneurial spirit. So here are some preview posts, and I wanted to point out a couple of things with these posts. So number 1, this is my challenge group post. I'm very intentional about the way that I make my challenge group post because it all goes back to relating to my ideal customer. My ideal customer is someone who needs to lose 10 to 15 pounds, who struggles with, problem areas like their tummy, their butt, and their thighs, and they don't want to get skinny. My ideal girl isn't concerned with getting skinny, they just want to be healthy and toned. So when I make my challenge group post, I really talk up those things because I want to attract that type of person. My next post is on lifestyle. So here I recently shared being able to go to Florida, and I had this moment before we left where I was like, gosh, this really is amazing. It never gets old to me because I never tire of waking up when I'm done sleeping. That's just the most amazing thing in my life. But the fact that I didn't have to ask off, for time off work. I told you guys I would get sick about asking for time off work. I make my own schedule. We originally had planned to go to Florida for 1 week, and then we just said, what the heck, let's go for 2 weeks. How else could you do that and be afforded an amazing lifestyle, where you could, not only do I get to go, but Jay gets to come with me. We're both coaches. So I just think that's incredible. And I shared that and I got a lot of great feedback. Now, again, you might not be at that point, but the things that you can share and the things that are important for you to share are those milestones on your journey along the way. Can you make your car payment? Go back and look at your commissions and say, gosh, if I added up this entire month of commission, what would that equal? Maybe you didn't specifically take that money and use it to pay off your car payment, but, I want you guys to think about what that money means for you in your life. Is that, that breathing room in your budget? For me, when I made my first $80, I'm not kidding you guys, I cried, and I almost want to cry now because it was so emotional, because I didn't have money for groceries, and I got that check and I was like, gosh, I can eat and get gas. This is amazing. So, I don't want you guys to downplay and say, well, I'm not making 6 figures, so I can't share my success. Absolutely, not only do I want you to share your success, but I want you to show people those milestones along the way because that's what inspires them when they see your journey. It's not as inspiring when you see, before and after picture of someone who was overweight and then all of a sudden they're ripped with a 6-pack. What inspires me is seeing them, the day-to-day, them plugging away, doing it, and you're like, wow, they're so consistent. Like, I need to learn from them. And then the last post is about the business, sharing mentoring, sharing exactly who I'm looking for. And I got this idea from Brittany Leggett, posting, the characteristics of the coach I want, so that that person sees this post and says, gosh, that sounds like me, and it sounds exactly like what I want to accomplish. And like Julie said, that's exactly what, inspired her to join our team. So I would encourage you guys to start thinking of ways that you can share the business, and don't shy away. You might be an Emerald coach right now, brand new coach. You are more of an expert than your brand new coach. You have things to teach them because you're older in the business, so don't shy away from signing up someone because you say, I don't know what to do. That stuff you learn along the way. The other thing you can do as a new coach is recruit people to join and learn with you. That's something I did in the beginning. I went to my friend, my coworker, and I said, look, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing, but I really believe this is an opportunity for me to get out of the day-to-day drudgery, to get out of living paycheck to paycheck. I would love to have you as my business partner. Is this something that you would learn with me? And she said yes. So that's the cool part about it. You can learn something, along with your friend. You don't have to be, 10-star diamond coach. Okay, so you're posting about all this content, you're putting your message out there, you're sharing about coaching, and, people start to get interested, and they start messaging you. I want you to take a moment to take a deep breath and stop yourself from thinking of this like you're getting someone or roping them in. Instead, I want you to slow your roll and think about how you can establish a genuine connection. And just realize, you guys, that you can't rush genuine relationships. You really have to focus on talking to them, forming them. By forming them, I mean asking about their family, their occupation, recreation, things that they like to do. What are their goals? What are their goals for their family? What are their goals for work? And one thing that, always reminds me to care for people and to be genuine is the acronym CUP. And CUP stands for Connect, Uplift, and Praise. And when I think of, connect, it really is just listening, being a great listener, using things like, tell me more about that. You said that you wanted to take your family on a vacation. Tell me more about that. Like, what does that dream look like for you? That's where you're starting to build their excitement. They might not know what this is or what they're doing, but when you can help them start dreaming and possibility, they're going to get excited about it and be more apt to join you and be more excited to be on your team. The second thing you want to do is uplift them. I always think of it as like, when there's two ways to exert force. You're either pushing down on people or you're lifting them up. Do you want to be the type of person that when someone leaves the conversation with you, they don't feel very good? They feel like you are trying to rope them into something or that you're trying to push something on them? Or do you want them to leave that conversation and say, my gosh, Brittany is so amazing. She just gets me. She listened to everything that I said. I feel so inspired after talking to her. You want people to miss you when you walk away from that conversation and say, gosh, like, they're so amazing. How can I join? Think about how you want or what you want that other person to experience. And sometimes as a new coach, you really have to be conscious about this. You have to consciously guide those conversations. If you ever feel like you are going on a craze about Beachbody, I want you to step away from the computer, delete the message, go for a mini walk around your house, and then come sit back down and do it and, respond in the mindset, if I were sitting on the other end of this computer, what would I want to see? What kind of message would I want to get? So don't have an agenda, slow down, connect, acknowledge that person. People love to be heard. So one thing that I do, this is like a strategy that you guys can use, is when someone says something to me, a goal or, something they want to accomplish, I repeat it back to them. Oh wow, that's so amazing that you want to take your family to Disney World. Can you imagine what that's going to be like when they get to see Mickey or like Elsa for the first time? Repeating their goals back to them, they're going to feel heard and they're going to feel like you really care. Now, I have some don'ts for you guys. I didn't put them on the slide, but these are very important. Don't guess what people want. It wastes time, energy, and money. You just have to ask them, what do they want? What do they want out of life? Don't lead with what you want. Don't get too excited and overwhelm people. I know that's super easy to do where you're like, Shakeology, 70 superfood ingredients, da da da. Don't lead with that. You want to ask questions, take notes, and say, tell me more about that. Just keep listening. When you're listening, you need to look for their sign. And their sign is their strengths, their interests, their goals, and their needs. If you look for their sign, which again, strength, interest, goals, and needs, then when you respond, you can actually give them good advice based on something you believe in. You can actually give them advice that is tailored to them and say, I know that it's important for you to take your family on that Disney vacation. Like, how amazing. Have you ever considered doing what I do? And then you can plug in, what amazing skills or strengths do they have that you think would make them great at this business? Become a problem solver. And most people's problems revolve around time, stress, or money. If you can show them a way to alleviate that, whether it's with Beachbody or not, they're going to have more trust in you. When people have more trust in you, they want to do business with you. Okay, next slide. I want to talk about how to actually get people to sign up. And when I was a new coach, and even, 2 years ago, this was something I really struggled with because I felt like I needed an action plan and I was just out there blowing in the wind. So this is something that you guys can use just as a guideline. I don't want anyone to get like too rigid in a way. You have to kind of find what works for you through trial and error. But at the end of the day, if you can find a way that feels genuine and authentic to you, where the other person is sitting, on the other end of the computer saying, gosh, I like her, I trust her, then they're going to want to sign up with you. So here is exactly what I do. I'll make a post, I'll share the business in some way, whether that's making a post on my Facebook or blog about, wanting people for the business, whether it's entrepreneurs or someone to join my next challenge, whatever. Then, number two, when somebody responds to me, I'll message them. Take the conversation from your Facebook post to the private message. I message them and I compliment them and I say, gosh, I'm so glad that you reached out to me because, I've been thinking about you and you're such an organized, passionate person. I would love to have you on my team or something like that. Compliment them, something that you admire about them. And then some of you guys use Woofu forms. This is typically where I will have them fill out my Woofu coach application and say, I really want to know more about you, your goals, what's going on in your life. Can you just do me a quick favor, fill this out? And I ask them more questions. That's number three. I'm always asking a ton of questions. Again, tell me more about that. What are your goals for your life? What are your goals for your family? After they tell me some of their goals, I ask them, I say, sounds like, you're the type of person I'm looking for in my business. Tell me what you think coaching is. I have this really great video. It's 7 minutes long that kind of explains it. If I send you this video, do you think you have time to watch it? Then here's what's incredibly important, guys. You have to ask for the follow-up. And by that, I mean, if you're messaging someone about the business, and let's just say you send them the video, then I will say something like, hey, when do you have time to watch this? And then they'll tell me, oh, I'm watching it right now, or I can watch it tomorrow. Okay, cool. Do you mind if I message you tomorrow? And then they're going to say yes. That way, you're not sending the video, and then you're sitting there waiting on the other end saying, oh my gosh, how long do I wait before I follow up? You have to ask for the follow-up, and you have to get some solid time from them. The next thing I do is I get them on the phone. It's the easiest and fastest way to build a connection with someone. It could be someone that you know forever. It could be someone that you went to elementary school with, and it could be someone brand new. It doesn't matter. This is the time when I really, ask them to basically repeat all of their goals to me. I ask them to repeat all of, what's going on in their life, so that they can feel heard and that I can feel like I'm giving them the best recommendation. Getting to this point, it's not just about getting people to sign up on your team. It's really about you guys interviewing each other. Is this the best fit for us? You don't want to just go into it thinking, I'm just going to sign up everybody. You want to say, and this is what I always say, I want to make sure it's the best fit for both of us, that this is going to be a really great relationship. I'm so excited to get to know more about you. I can't wait to get on the phone. When I'm on the phone, I will ask them, after forming them and going over their goals, I'll ask them, what appeals to them about coaching? Why do they want to do it? And this is where you have a really great opportunity to not only validate all the things that they are excited about, but you can address any fears or objections they have. Any fears or objections, sometimes people are a little bit hesitant to bring up. Maybe they'll say, gosh, I'm not sure, I am super busy, or I have to ask my husband. That's totally okay. I say, what confuses you, or what is holding you back? This is where you can just straight out ask them, what is their fear or concern? And typically objections are things that they just don't understand yet. So that's where you can really explain. I'm going to go over objections in the next slide using this method that I love. Now, this takes you to the sign up. By the end of the call, you should be saying things like, pretty exciting, isn't it? Or, I'm so excited for you to become a coach. What questions do you have for me? And by the end of the call, I walk them through signing up, or I'm setting up another time for them. Maybe they needed more information. I got to be honest with you guys, though. 99% of the time that I get on the phone with someone, they end up signing up by the end. And if you're freaked out that they're not going to sign up, don't worry, because practice makes perfect. Also, you cannot be freaking out about them saying no. I've heard no so many times, and yet here I am, a successful 8-star diamond coach. No, typically, maybe it's not for them. This business definitely is not for everybody, but no could mean not right now. Maybe it's just not the right time for them. So, at that point, thank you so much for listening and taking the time to talk with me. If there's anyone that you can think of, I would love to have a referral from you, and then ask them if you can add them to your contact list and follow up with them at a later time. Okay, so I want to go over objections. To me, objections are just those blind spots that they don't understand, and they are really easy to eliminate. I eliminate objections with empathy, and by empathy I mean, relating to exactly the same thing that they're going through. So I use feel, felt, found. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way, but what I have found is, and the reason I do this, and you can use it for anything, is this is where you can explain something like cost. I know exactly how you feel about Shakeology being $130. I felt the same way. I thought that was insane. But what I found is I stopped eating at Subway and getting their $8 lunches, and I started plugging it into my grocery budget, and I'm actually saving money. It's crazy. Not only that, but I'm down 6 pounds. When you can put it into something that makes sense for them, then it's going to make a lot more sense. And then they're more likely to go through with it. If they say, I don't have a lot of time, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found is, even though I had a job and I was going to school at the time and I had a boyfriend, I fit this business in bits and chunks. I did 15 minutes here. I listened to the team call on my lunch break. I talked to people throughout my day. And here I am now, enjoying incredible success, and it wasn't, it was something I was able to build part-time. So, you guys can plug in whatever that looks like for you. Pretty simple. Okay, so here are my tips for success with signing up people. Number 1, emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. You cannot be hell-bent on signing up, Susie whatever, or your brother. Family is the hardest to get to sign up anyway, and to get to really buy into the dream. And I think Lindsay Stay can even tell you guys her sister fought her on it. But you want to emotionally detach yourself from the outcome so that you're not getting wrapped up in, oh my gosh, they said no, and now I feel like crap. Number 2, focus on helping them and making a positive impact. If at the end of the day, you focus on just helping improve their life in some way, then A, you're going to strengthen that relationship, B, they're going to trust you, and C, they're more likely to join you, if not now, then down the road. 3, like I said, call them. It's easier to establish that connection on the phone. Number 4, I assume the sign up. And what I mean by that is when I'm talking to someone, I will say things like, oh, since you're a coach, you're going to have to come hang out with us at Summit, or, oh my gosh, since you're a coach, you're going to be amazed at the accountability and how our team really bands together to get things done. I really love that you're a part of this now. So I say things like that to help them start building that belief, to start getting excited about it and say, it's like when you go try on clothes at the store, you're 3 times more likely to buy an outfit that you try on in the fitting rooms than if you just look at it on the rack. So if you assume the sign up and start saying things like that, people start to get in that mindset like they're already a coach. Number 5, I think, you get me and our team. So really highlight that they're in business, as their own boss, but they're not by themselves. They get incredible training, our incredible team camaraderie. They get you to kind of guide them along the way. Number 6, ask them what's holding them back. If anyone's dragging their feet, I am so straightforward in the sense, I ask them, what is it about being a coach that you're questioning, or what's holding you back from signing up? Now, this is either where you're going to feel, felt, found them and address that objection, or maybe it's time to move on. Like I said, don't get emotionally attached to one person signing up, whoever they are or however amazing you think that they are. Be a great listener. That's so important when people feel like their voice is being heard. Next one, it's all about their why. And I explained this at the beginning of the call, having that why power, having that driving force, it's up to you to help uncover that. A lot of people will say things like, gosh, it'd be nice to earn a couple extra $100 a week. You want to dig a little bit deeper than that. What does that money mean to them? What does that mean in their life? It's not just about that income, it's about what it does for them. So it's your job as their coach to help them uncover that and dig a little bit deeper. Next one, you get better with practice. Trust me, because I sucked in the beginning so bad. You guys have no idea. I should dig up some old conversations because they were horrible. But you will get better as you go, I promise. And then the last one, come from a place of confidence, guys. This opportunity has changed my life so much. I feel like this is the greatest gift that I can give someone. Like, if I share Beachbody with someone, they better hook me up at my birthday with some kind of amazing gift because I love it so much. If you do not feel like that, if you don't feel like you are so confident about this business, that's something you need to work on. Okay, I'm sorry I'm like running over on time, so I'm going to go over these next ones really quickly. Now, if you want to leverage your time and get away from that time for money trap, it's all about building your team. If you want to, grow your income exponentially, it's all about duplication. So bringing in people onto your team, sponsoring them, welcoming them, and teaching them how to duplicate exactly what you do. It's important to know that you're not going to make money for just signing up people. If you're just going out there and signing up people, that is the fastest way to lose friends and make family reunions awkward. So do not do that. Instead, it's all about finding those people who have that fire in them. The people that you don't have to drag along the way. The people that are ready to run with you. That's who you want to find, and you're going to find that through crafting your story and crafting your ideal customer and helping them through challenge groups, helping them have amazing transformations and build that belief. Now, it is amazing when you start to find those people who just get it, the people that are ready to run with you, how amazingly fun this business can be. You will be in such a different space. If you can find those people and you're super clear about your brand, who you're looking for, what kind of team you want to create, when you see that light at the end of the tunnel and say, that's the team I'm going to have at Summit with me next year, that's who you're going to start attracting. That's who's going to relate to you. And that's who's going to say, you know what? Miranda is like on a roll. I need to get on board with her right now before this train leaves the station. So the key in this is really being able to not only attract those amazing coaches, but then help breathe life into their dreams. I love, being a coach because everyone has greatness within them, but when you can help reawaken that dreaming side of them, that is such an incredible thing. When you can, start to ask them, what do they imagine, or what would be the crazy, amazing goal that they could achieve in the next, few years, what would that be? And they start getting those wheels turning. What an amazing gift to give somebody, guys. So the magic happens when you're able to create your brand, share your vision, and then have people join you who have that same vision and who are willing to put in the work. Now, getting coaches started right. They see the vision, they signed up, so now what do you have to do? This is where you're going to duplicate everything we just went over. You're going to help them develop their why, help them craft their story, even if it's a work in progress. Your story is something that's going to change over time. You're going to help them build that belief in the product, the company, and themselves. You're going to do that through challenge groups, through team calls, through getting on one-on-one with them and helping them see the amazing things that they've done and the amazing things they have within them to share. You're going to get them connected to the team. To me, the Bombshell Dynasty, I know that there's guys on it, but I think of it as a sisterhood. I think of it as this incredible group of women who I know is going to inspire me and help me rise up to my greatest potential. You're also going to help them become a master of their own training. And, we talked about this earlier. You have to be in charge of your own training. It's something that I teach my coaches right from the beginning. I can't be there for you. Just like I can't do your workouts, I can't, insert the knowledge that I have into your brain. You have to show up for team meetings. You have to show up at Summit. You have to show up on the national wake-up calls and listen and learn. Now, the end goal for this is for them to duplicate, remove the training wheels, and go off and create, their own dynasty. And of course, you're always going to be there as their coach, but my goal is to help my coaches become independent from me as quickly as possible and realize that they have the greatness of a leader within them. So here are some just like touch points that I want to share with you guys that I think are very important. Number one, you cannot control who will work the business. You aren't responsible for their success or failure. You're just responsible for getting them off to a great start. There are people that you're going to sign up that you're going to say, oh my gosh, they are absolutely amazing. And then they're just going to fall off the face of the earth. It's going to happen. I promise you. There's going to be people who get to diamond and fall off the face of the earth. You can't worry about those people. You just have to focus on what you can control. And I don't know if anyone's had this, but my family, my brother fell out of diamond, and I was like, ah. Okay, next. My goal, like I said, is to help you become independent from me as quickly as possible so that you can go on and build your dream team. Next, great leaders start as great coaches. You have to be hungry. You have to be a sponge. You have to soak up every little bit of training and learning that you can. Next, the power of observation is so important as a new coach. You learn from watching successful people, whether that's on Facebook or, I follow things other than Beachbody coaches to pick up those success clues and watch what other successful entrepreneurs or business owners are doing. And then I can craft it in my own way and use it for my business. But be a sponge. Be willing to soak up that information. It's up to you to implement what you learn. You have to have personal accountability here. This is not something where you have a boss standing over your shoulder. You have to be willing to put in the work. This is something where this business and the path to freedom, it requires you to say no for a little while so that you can say yes to the things that you love for the rest of your life. So you cannot be dissuaded by daily distractions. And by that, I typically mean TV. You have to be willing to make short-term sacrifices now for the long-term gains and the rewards. And you have to make time to work on your greatest asset in this business, which is you. That means fitness, that means your personal growth and development, and that means fueling your soul, fueling your mind, fueling your body appropriately. You can only go as far as you grow. 2 more slides. Okay, I want to talk really quickly about this cycle of success and building a belief. This is from Tony Robbins. So if you look at this cycle of success, all of these 4 categories play into one another. Belief, potential, action, result. So if you have a very small belief in yourself in this business, you're not going to see great potential in this business. If you don't see great potential, you're not going to take a lot of action. You're going to take small action. Maybe you post once or twice on Facebook. If you take small action, you're not going to get great results. You're going to get maybe no results. And then you're going to say to yourself, I knew it. This sucks. This is a pyramid scheme. And that belief is going to get smaller and smaller. And then you're going to think you have even less potential, and you're going to take even less action. But imagine if you have something like your why fueling your belief. If you get to that point where you say, I have amazing potential and I am going to succeed. I don't care, come hell or high water. I'm going to do this business and I am going to make it so that I don't have to stress out about money no matter what happens. I'm going to figure it out. Then you see great potential in yourself. And then you're going to take even bigger action. And when you take bigger action, you're going to get bigger rewards and bigger results. And when you get bigger results, your belief is going to continue to grow. So I want you guys to get in that cycle. Don't get in the poison cycle. I want you to get in the harvest cycle where you're reaping the benefits of that belief and taking action. They all play into one another. I want you guys to get so amped up about your potential and your belief that you take massive action and you guys get crazy amazing results. Okay, so in closing, I want you guys to come from a place of confidence. I want you to realize what an incredible opportunity we have before us and how it can not only change your life, but this is something that can touch the lives of others. This is something that you can share through not only, sharing fitness and sharing the business, but sharing with the people that you love. And I shared this in our Smart Start group. I love this quote. My greatest joy is what we are able to give. We offer hope and freedom to those who join us in this incredible business opportunity. We also give hope to those outside our opportunity as we are able to bless them with our time, talent, and resources. And just a personal story from me, as a coach, I've been able to not only help my brother pay for his schooling, but I've been able to set my parents up with a coach account and help them get a weekly income because neither of my parents work due to health issues that have come in the last year or two. So being able to, that is something I never would have been able to do, by the way. My parents, were struggling with money, and if I was still a retail manager or still worked at the porta potty company, I never would have been able to even give them $20. Now I'm able to give them hundreds of dollars each week and help them sustain life. That is amazing. That is being blessed. That is having this incredible opportunity before us and really being able to give this gift to other people. So I want you guys to consider every time you share this business, you are giving them an incredible gift that is not to be taken lightly. This is something amazing that I feel everyone that you care about needs to experience. This is something that you can use to create freedom for not only yourself, but the people that you care most about. So please take it seriously. The action step I want you guys to have is re-listen to this call, do everything I talked about, but if I had one thing to give you right now, think of the 10 people in your life that you care the most about, that you want to bless with the gift of this business. The 10 people who you would love to have and lock arm in arm with and build this business together. Think about those people and don't hesitate from sharing it with them. Don't stop yourself from putting it out there for them. Are you guys crazy? Why haven't you shared it with them already? These 10 people mean so much to you. So I can't wait to hear you guys share. I can't wait to hear you guys put it out there, and don't worry about the outcome of it. Just know that you're doing your best to enhance the life of other people. I really appreciate you guys getting on and staying on with me for 60, 70 minutes and for taking time out of your holiday. I've had so much fun hosting this call. I hope you guys found it useful. I will post the recording and I post the slides. Love you guys. Mwah.